I upgraded to a Canon R5 last year from a 10-year-old EOS 5D Mark III. It was a tough decision because of the high cost involved, but in the end I decided that getting an R5 instead of an R6 would be like purchasing an upgraded MacBook instead of the base model. It might cost more initially, but in the long run, I felt like it was a better decision. And since I intend on using this camera for like 10 years, as I did with my 5D, I think I made the right choice. But so far, I have stubbornly refused to purchase any RF lenses, and today I'm going to give you my reasons why, including some of the photos that I've taken with an R5 and various older EF lenses. Number one, it's the cost, of course. If you're a pro photographer or even an enthusiast that loves using awesome gear, then you're used to paying a lot of money for excellent cameras and lenses. As a professional, I use my camera on the daily to make money, which is a huge blessing for sure, but it also means that I must begrudgingly accept the fact that I have to act fiscally responsible when it comes to my endless need to acquire gear. Having said that, the problem I see with RF lenses is that any of the ones that I would need, in other words, the very fast lenses for portraits like an 85mm or a 24-70, are extremely expensive. The 24-70 2.8 clocks in at $2,400. The 70-200 2.8 is $2,800, and the 85mm lenses will set you back around $3,000 if you want one of the 1.2 lenses. So to get into the system from scratch with, say, an R5 and a 24-70, you're going to be shelling out a whopping $6,000 or more just to start. Now, for someone like me who has been using Canon for years, I already own a few excellent EFL lenses, and I decided that the $200 adapter was a better choice to get started into the new system. And if you currently own a bunch of awesome EF lenses, I think you should consider following my lead. Number two, size and weight. Using a 50mm 1.4 EF lens with the RF adapter is a bit annoying since it protrudes a lot further than it should. But when I looked at the size and the weight of the RF 51.2, I realized that I should not be complaining. That lens is a monster. And most of the fast RF lenses are very large and bulky. And I might be wrong about this, but it seems to me that on average, the RF lenses tend to be larger than their EF counterparts. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't mind a large camera and a large lens in general, but the thought of lugging around that massive 50mm lens has definitely dissuaded me from running and dropping $2,300 on it. Yes, that one is super expensive too. Number three, autofocus with EF lenses is amazing. Here's one of the major reasons I haven't upgraded. The autofocus, which I knew would be pretty amazing based on the many reviews that I watched prior to purchasing my R5, is truly incredible, even with my old non-IS 70-200 2.8 lens. On the daily, it continues to blow my mind. And not only is the AF super fast and accurate, but the eye tracking focus is like a dream come true for a portrait photographer like me. In fact, it allows me to engage with my subject in a much more personal way, since I don't have to keep my head buried behind the lens to check focus and move around little focusing points like I had to in the past. Now, when I first got the adapter, I thought this would be a huge compromise, kind of like using a teleconverter. But I'm happy to say that's not at all the case. With the adapter, the AF rocks. Okay, now let's get to the heart of the matter. It's the image quality. So finally, the main reason I'm not upgrading right now is the most compelling. I've used this camera for close to a year now in my studio, and the image quality with my EF lenses is truly superb. Now, I am not at all a techie camera nerd when it comes to gear, and I appreciate those people, but I'm not one of them. So the last thing I ever want to do is those image quality tests with like those strange sharpness charts and whatnot. So I'm positive that the RF lens quality is better. But in practical terms, whatever that difference might be, it hasn't been worth me shelling out $3,000 at this point, since the portraits I'm creating with my current lenses I find to be beautiful. For the record, all of the images that you're seeing in this video were taken with either a 70-200 2.8, or a 50mm 1.4. And since I really like to use a shallow depth of field in much of my portrait work outside of, say, my head and shoulder headshots, the 50-1.4 is usually my go-to lens for portrait work. And this is the reason why I don't want to buy, say, the 50mm 1.8 lens, which I have heard a lot of great things about, but I feel like I really want to hold out for as shallow an aperture as possible. If you've made it this far into my video, you may already realize that this rant and my hardline refusal to purchase RF lenses will eventually end, and I'm sure it will be in a major way. It's only a matter of time before I take the plunge, I'm sure. But right now, I'm really in no rush at all to upgrade, since I'm very happy, as I've said, with my EF lenses and how they perform on my R5. Canon is also releasing a bunch of new cameras and lenses now, so my other thought on this whole matter is to take the wait and see approach, because the chances are that they're gonna come out with something else soon that will maybe make me take the plunge one way or the other, either with a new lens or with something that's already out there. But for now, I can really find a much better use at my studio for $2 to $3 grand, like upgrading some of my lighting equipment, or even doing something much less fun, like small but needed renovations around my studio. In either case, I'm very, very happy with my current setup, and since none of my clients are complaining, I'm not rushing to make any major changes or purchases at this time. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Gently press that like button. You don't have to smash it. And if you so desire, share this video with your friends, and please leave me a comment and let me know what you think about my topic today. Here's wishing you an awesome day. Go out and take some amazing pictures with your camera, and have a great day, everyone. I'll see you next time. Bye.